Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, Americans know that they're paying more, much more for gasoline today than they were at the end of the Trump administration, and they know why. Because of the policies of the Biden administration. This hearing is a complete and total deflection by the Democrats to distract from the energy crisis that President Biden and congressional Democrats have created. And they're trying to find someone else to blame. Don't let them gaslight you. Record high gas prices don't just lay at the feet of Vladimir Putin or of oil and gas companies. Just look at the dichotomy of their statements from the fall of 2021 and their attempt to lay blame here today. And I'm going to ask this article to be submitted for the record. But this is an article dated April 5th, 2022. And it says that last autumn they were demanding, House Democrats were demanding, these same oil and gas companies produce less oil to reduce the global supply of crude. That was just last fall. During the October 28th hearing, California Representative Ro Khanna praised BP and Shell CEOs for pledging to reduce their oil production. Then he asked oil execs why they weren't doing the same, U.S. oil execs. It goes on to say that in his questioning, he said, do you commit to do anything matching European counterparts to bring the actual demand of oil production down? Democrats were wanting to bring oil production down, and now they're trying to blame someone else. Mr. Khanna, Representative Khanna goes on to say that no. Are you committed to lowering the production as the Paris Accords say, yes or no? If progressives truly cared about climate, they would support more U.S. oil and gas production, which could replace supply from countries with lower environmental standards and higher emissions. In fact, California Representative Katie Porter illuminated this when she chided the CEOs for opposing Mr. Biden's halt on new oil and gas leases on federal land. You can't have it both ways, Democrats. You can't come in here and blame others for the rising prices of gasoline at the pump when last fall you were also blaming, or at least the dichotomy of that, of trying to get the oil and gas companies to produce less. So the day before Putin invaded Ukraine, gas prices were already up 55% from before the day Biden took office. Why? One reason was displayed by Representative Scalise a minute ago, the costly and burdensome regs that drive the cost of production up for oil and gas producers. In fact, he provided these regs that I'd like to submit for the record, Madam Chair. The regs that are driving the cost of production up for American producers. We saw what candidate President Biden said. I think Scalise talked about that, but let's just look at his FY 2022 budget. In developing the budget, consideration was given to advancing three key objectives, one of which was not funding work that directly subsidizes fossil fuels, including work that lowers the cost of production, lowers the cost of consumption, that means lowers the price at the pump for American families, or raises the revenues retained by producers of fossil fuels. That was in Joe Biden's 2022 budget. You know, America is blessed with abundant natural resources, but we're cursed with liberal politicians who are causing these problems and causing American families to pay more at the pump. Crisis wasn't created by Vladimir Putin. He's just capitalizing on it. He's capitalizing on it because the Nord Stream 2 project was green-lighted by President Biden in January of last year. That money that Vladimir Putin sells to Europe, oil and gas to European countries, and sells natural gas and oil to the United States, pads his pocket and helps pay for his imperialistic aims in Ukraine and elsewhere. He's one of the richest men in the world. So I hope that we'll just look at Germany. Germany should serve as a warning signal in the United States. They sold out to the radical environmental ideology and now face an energy crisis. They simultaneously phased out nuclear power and coal and now import more than half of their natural gas from Gazprom and other Russian companies. They shut down 14 of their 17 nuclear plants. Instead of prioritizing clean-burning nuclear energy, Germany made a policy decision to heavily subsidize volatile and intermittent renewables. Now they're going back and buying more coal, and more coal plants are coming online. It's hypocrisy of pushing climate change initiatives and being held out in the world as being a leader in renewables, and all of a sudden they say, well, we need power, so we're going to burn coal. If you truly were believers, which I don't think they are, they have been at the mercy of Vladimir Putin turning the spigot on and off. You know, you just can't have it both ways. You can't encourage lower production and then try to blame somebody when the prices go up. I yield back.